Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Man City podcast. I'm your host, Rob Pollard. This week came some great news for the football club. Pep Guardiola, the man who has won 8 major trophies in 4 full seasons as our manager, signed a new 2-year deal, which keeps him at the club until the summer of 2023. Since joining City in 2016, Pep has had a transformational effect on the club's playing style. The team has won 181 of the 245 matches he's been in charge of. That's a win rate of nearly 74%. And he's won a piece of silverware every 31 games he's been in charge of. As amazing as that record is, it actually fits neatly into the rest of his management career as a whole. Because in 11 full seasons as a manager, Guardiola's collected an incredible 29 major trophies. His current 5-year stay at City is already the longest commitment he's made to a football club since becoming a manager in 2008. And this extension will see him overtake the great Joe Mercer and put him second on the club's list of longest serving post-war managers. So on this episode of the Man City podcast, we hear from the man himself and his long-term friend and our director of football, Txiki Begiristain. They both give their reaction to the news. But let's start with Pep. We sat down with him here at the CFA and I wanted to discuss his time in charge of City and why he decided to stay for longer. Now, it was clear that the mood over in the first team building where we did this interview had been lifted by the news. All of his staff who we bumped into that day were delighted. Txiki, who we'll come to later, was clearly delighted with the situation. And Pep himself was very, very happy. He was in great spirits all day. I bumped into him in the morning. We did the interview in the afternoon. And every time you saw him, there was a real spring in his step. So without further ado, let's hear from the manager. Pep, congratulations. How do you feel having signed this new contract with City?
Well, so satisfied and grateful for the confidence for all club, all organization. And be happy to continue to do our best for this club, for this organization next years.
You've said this was an easy decision and you've been manager at City longer than any other football club that you've managed, so it's clear that you're very happy here. Can you explain to the fans what it is about Manchester City, the club, the organisation that makes you feel so comfortable in your work?
Well, as a manager, I have everything that I need. So, especially, I know all the managers will depend on the results. Of course, me as well. And we have to win to continue. But I saw many times in the bad moments how the people here support me. Of course, Farhan and Txiki, but especially Khaldun, our chairman. And this time was the main reason. That's why I decided to continue. We have a long talks this week, and all together, and we put the both sides to continue or not. And at the end, we decide the best for all of us is continue, because still we have the feeling that still is not unfinished business, and still we have something to do, continue what we have done the last year. So this club won in the recent past, but being all together, we won a lot, and we won a lot, and we won again. And the target is in this club, like in the past, is not a club won a lot of titles, is continue to try to maintain in this stature of the club as much as possible. And that's why I have the desire to help with all fantastic players that we have for the next years, especially our fans, but the whole football proud the way we play and the way we win.
You and Khaldun, as you've just said, you have a very close relationship, which is great. Everybody wants a boss that they trust and believe in. How important for you is the stability that relationship brings?
Well, I would say I'm not living daily with him. I am closer, of course, for all the players, all backroom staff. I'm so proud. And of course, Txiki and Farhan. But and I would say at this time, the reason why I extend the contract is for our chairman, especially what I said, for the conversations that we have. He convinced me that still we have to move forward, to try to do it, to continue what we have done these incredible last 4 years together, and try to do it knowing that how tough will be with the Premier League in Europe, and the desire to, if it's possible, to make a step forward in this club, or maintain the level that we achieved the last seasons.
We feel like a very stable club, both on and off the field, but we're also building for the future as well. I mean, how well placed do you think City are to continue having success and to innovate in the future?
Well, the competition is so tough, it's so demanding, but that is the challenge. So that is the target. So we are agreed to do again 100 points or 90 points or win 7 or 8 titles in 2 seasons. It's almost impossible to do it again. And win 4 titles in 1 season is almost impossible to do it again. We knew it, we know it, all the club. But that doesn't mean to not fight for the titles and do exactly what you have to do. And continue what we have done so far. Every game we play, every competition to play, to do our best. And yeah, that is the target. Still, I have the feeling that it's not over. And that's why we decide to continue being together.
You've revolutionised the way City play football since you've been here, and we've put together a very young and talented squad. How important is it for you to create a philosophy at this football club that ensures success continues beyond and for many years to come?
All the philosophies are okay. There is not one better than the other one. The most important thing is from the chairman until following the sport director, especially with Txiki, the manager, the players are in the same line. This is the most important thing. Because after that is important in the same line, because when the situation is not going well, you know the reason why. And after to make solutions, the club, since the day one, tried to do absolutely everything to make the team as best as possible. And it's not just the team, so HQ and how the people work in all departments also was one of the reasons why I decided. So I live with all the people there, the marketing department, the media department, the sponsor department, for all the situations. And I feel comfortable working with them, and that's why. So it's a fantastic organization, a fantastic club. And they make me feel from the day one home with me and my family. And right now I feel I could not be in a better place to do my job, and still I have the energy. I have the desire to be manager, to train with these players. And this is the reason why. The moment, you know, the contract is a papers. So the moment this fire or this desire I see, I cannot give more, or I cannot give to the players as best that we can to win titles, I will a step back. The club will understand, I will understand, and always will remain something special about the relation that I have with this incredible cup.
You and Txiki have made some top signings during your time here. How happy are you with the current squad?
A lot. So all the time when we make a decision, sometimes it's going well, sometimes it's going wrong. So there is not a club like everything going perfect. But I think they are so clever. They know exactly what we want, what we need, and sometimes it's not a problem with the club. Sometimes it's a problem for the manager to don't take the best. But in general, what we have done is it's really good. It just football is never a stop. So when you believe you have reached one certain level and you believe in everything is in order, in 1 month everything can going down, and after you have to always be prepared to do the next step. And and that's why because a part of being incredible professionals, I'm working with friends, and this is unbelievable. So have a friends like our CEO and Txiki, but not just of them. So I met Omar, I met a lot of people here. Like I consider we are friends, and working in these conditions always is easier, because in the good moments you have more reasons to celebrate it. It's funnier. And in the bad moments, we stick together. So they don't judge, because we are adults enough, professionals enough to know that it doesn't work well. We have to stop. Something we have to change. But in the same time, when we believe in still we can do it, I feel here we are not just if I win or I lose, it's going well or going wrong. So we know exactly, we see it, we talk a lot every day, and see what we can do better, to improve.
In the last few years, we've said goodbye to some very important players, Company, Yaya, Pablo, David Silva. Explain to me how a manager deals with that scenario, trying to replace not just great players, but huge personalities and important people at a football club.
Honestly, I would love to Vincent still would here, and Pablo would be here, and many incredible players that make this club would be here. But there is a question of time, because the time comes for everyone. So there is one time I arrive, it will be one time I will leave. So it's part of the life. So there is a time to start, a time to finish, and in that process, I know that there is some players are incredible, difficult to be, replaceable, but in the same time, you have to move forward, and in the same times, like the club, we feel a moment that we have to look for another manager. So in that time, we are in charge right here, and we have to, to find the right players to replace these incredible players that make this club like we are right now.
And just to talk specifically about Txiki and Ferran, because I know that the three of you work very closely in terms of bringing players here. Just give me a flavour of how much you appreciate the work that Txiki and Ferran do in helping you to construct a squad.
No, of course they are so important because, as I said before, they are friends of mine, so it's easy to do it. But at the end, I work with them, I talk with them, but I work with my backroom stuff. So for me, it's more important the relation I have right now with Juanma and with Rodo, with Carlos, with all the physios we have, the doctors, with Max. They make an incredible job in this difficult time and period with the lockdown. And so one is not just Txiki Ferran. Of course, they are important, but what's really, really important is the people I'm working with every single day. The cookers, the sport analysis. Mar Bushasa is one incredible important person for us in our organization, and I would say a lot of them, and this is the reason why, again, as well, the reason why I decide to continue, because at the end I'm working every day with them, and I want to be comfortable working with them. It would not be the reason why, and I will be not comfortable, I will not have been extend the contract.
I was going to ask you about your backroom team, your staff, Juanma, etc. What do each of them bring to the table for you? They all have different ingredients that they bring, but what is it? But
they help the team. So all the backroom staff, we are here to help the team, to help the players. Not other reason why. So I start with Dome and Mikel. They were both of them so important in the first years. And after they decide to move, and we replace for other people, and yes, all of us, we are here to help our players to perform well on the pitch. You talk about Dome and Mikel leaving. Is it sometimes good though to bring in some new people into the backroom team to freshen things up and bring some new ideas? Well, sometimes it's what it is. So we never fire one person here. We are the light of them, how they work. So, but personal situation, personal life, personal ambitions. Also you have to understand it. So everyone think for the best for themselves. The important is that the people are here, are happy to work here. It's interesting to me that in La Liga, a lot of the Spanish teams play a very similar type of football, whereas in the Premier League there seems to be more variety. Is that something that keeps you challenged? Is that an element of working in England that you love? Not especially, because the reason why I was in Barcelona after I went to Munich, so it was to prove myself in different countries, I was able to do it, and we did it. So I don't have any complaints how good it was, our period in Barcelona and Munich and here. Also, I have a feeling here is not that I wanna. We put the team like previous manager has done. Roberto and Manuel has done, winning the Premier League, but we were able to maintain this level for a longer time. You know, making back-to-back and FA Cups and 3 Carabaos in a row, Community Shields. We won a lot of titles. That's why we maintain this level for a longer time. And this is the most difficult thing, is when you became a big club, a big team. And I have the feeling you have to continue, you have to try to put the team all together, being there for many years. This is the target, and that's why talking with Khaldun this week, and I understood what the clubs wanted, and I said, okay, we're going to do it together again.
Johan Cruyff once said Guardiola wants to make football better. Is that what drives you? Do you want to improve the game?
I want to win. That we want, all of us to win, and we'll be judged for this. The way we want to do is our way, like another team do it in their own way. So there is not a perfect way. There is not a one way better than the other one. This is a big mistake. I never thought our way is different or better. No, never ever. It's just the way we believe we can do it, and we prove it in the past, doing something in this country I've never done before, since was born, and the target is put the club or the team and organization, and being for a longer time in this position.
And of course, we're living through a global health pandemic at the moment. There are a lot of City fans who can't come to the stadium, they can't see the players that they love. Do you have a message for those fans today? Because they're going to be very happy that you've signed this new contract.
I don't want to leave without saying hello and maybe bye in the stadium. So I think all the clubs, we need our fans, but especially, of course, I'm talking for ours. So we are looking forward. They have to know that we think a lot of them all the time when we play, especially at home. How empty, how sad it is. And but hopefully it's going to finish soon, and we can find and we can be together. So we want to let them be proud of ourselves. I know we did it in the past, how proud we were, like we have done in the last years. But we are looking forward to do it together in the stadium, especially when we're going away. I never forget when I learned when these fans were in main road and were in the second division, not fighting we are fighting right now. And it was 30,000 or 35,000 followed the team away. And when that's happened, it means that how good is one club, how special it is. But not isn't it just winning titles. Of course, it's so important. But sometimes it's more important, don't forget what we were. And what we are right now is really good. And the target is fighting and all together. And all the buildings and all the clubs in this Manchester City football group, and try to maintain this level in UK and in Europe as best as possible.
So that was Pep Guardiola speaking to me earlier this week at the CFA about signing a new contract. It's great news for the football club, and I'm sure all the fans are delighted with the news. I thought some of the stuff he was saying there was quite interesting, particularly the alignment and the vision of the top guys here at Manchester City, himself, Txiki, Ferran, Khaldun, all singing from the same hymn sheet, all have the same vision for the club, and that was one of the main reasons he decided to stay. And the stuff at the end about the 35,000 fans at Main Road when we were in the old Division 2, I mean, that was great, and a really good message came from him there, is let's not forget who we are, where we've come from, and yes, we're in a better time now. We play great football, we win silverware, we're at the very top of the game, but we're still a club that is, rooted in our past, and we'll never forget those days. Anyway, that was Pep. Now it's time to get the thoughts of Director of Football, Txiki Begiristain. Txiki, as a fan of Manchester City Football Club, today feels like a hugely significant day. Why is Pep being here so important for this football club?
Basically because he took he took the club and to the top level, let's say to the maximum that you can get. He has been important because we wanted to show that kind of football. We wanted to do this attractive football and of course to win, and he has done both. I mean, extremely well. So we have played unbelievable, football, and we have won.
People who work with Pep always talk about his intensity. Have you ever met anybody during your time in football who brings the same drive, the same focus, the same ambition that Pep does?
I mean, he's a hard worker. I mean, everybody wants to try to do well and trying to be successful. He is a hard worker. Everybody talks about his complexity on the tactics, and he's always studying the opponent, also his own team. But basically, it's hours and hours of thinking and sharing with his staff, and spend a lot of hours here in this training center. So then the final product is on the pitch.
Going back a number of years, what was it about Pep that gave you the confidence to give him the job or recommend him for the job at Barcelona? What were the ingredients you saw in a younger Pep?
First, I had a very good people working there in the academy, and the ones that could help me as well to take this decision. But basically, is what I could imagine is with the players that we had in the first team, what he was doing in Barça B. That was amazing. That build up, that high pressing, that the changing, to how to read the game, how to do the substitutions, and also changing the tactics during the game. So all kind of things I imagine just doing with a top players that we had at that time in Barcelona.
He credits you with launching his management career, and he always mentions you as a big reason why he's at City and why he feels happy here, why he feels comfortable. What's your working relationship with Pep like, and do you guys ever have disagreements over transfers, things like that?
I mean, of course, we can have different opinions, but we try to convince each other, and the cool thing is that we have played together the same football. We had the same unbelievable coach, that was Johan Cruyff. So our philosophy is the same. So the kind of players that we need to get it done are the same. So and the other one is that we are friends. So that it helps, of course. No, what we knew when we were here is that if there was a time that Pep could decide to come to the Premier League, we knew that he was going to be with us. So that basically, because also he wants to be in the right environment with the people that he knows, and of course always going to be here.
Do you think Pep has changed football?
He's always in a constant evolution, so it's not the same that he was in 2008 when he took Barcelona. He is not the same that even when he was on Bayern, and I will say that he's not the same one that he came in the first season. So why? Because he can see that things that the opponents are changing, are doing, so he has to try to beat them, and he's always on evolution. It's not that he's playing 4-3-3 every time, and so he's changing every time because he has to. Then he shows that work to the players, and the players, they are obeying him. That is the main thing.
I read a book last year, which in this book you said that winning in the way that Pep wins, by having possession of the ball and scoring lots of goals, is addictive. So when you win in that way, that beautiful way, it becomes addictive. Why is that? Just explain that to me.
Because it's wonderful. Because when you do 100 points in the Premier League, in such a difficult league, and then next one you have to do 98 to beat by one to an unbelievable team like Liverpool, is that you want to see every weekend and every year the same. And the ones that you have done in this way, you want to see that. And then it could think, I don't know, that is a bit silly, but it's what anyone could like to see when he's watching a football game. It's just playing in the opponent's half, trying to win back immediately, to have the ball, creating chances, score goals, trying to, of course, to have the clean sheet like last season with that we had. So that kind of perfection, if you feel once this, you want to feel it every weekend.
You were very influential in bringing Pep to City, of course. Now, looking back, was it difficult to convince him to come here? Did you have to kind of sell the project, as it were, or did he have that ambition to come to the Premier League again?
I think he wanted to come to the Premier League. And then he knew that we were here. So then we were here. It doesn't mean that it's only we have to show him. We have to show him that of course there is ambition, there is a passion that and then he could see immediately that ambition and that passion, not only on the management, also on the board, on the chairman. So everybody is showing in the last, I think since they are here, they are showing that passion and that ambition. So then Pep could feel that, and then of course we being here, we knew that he was going to come to first to the Premier League, second one to us.
And obviously we've had a really successful period under Pep, particularly the 100-point season and then the Formidables campaign when we won all the domestic honours. Has that exceeded your expectations in terms of the consistency that we've reached? And what would you say has been our biggest achievement during this period with Pep?
I think for me is that something that we could think that is unbelievable. That is to do 2 seasons, to do 198 points. And I could see that he could do it. I mean, but I couldn't expect such a big amount of points. No, because I told him when he was in Germany, and we were talking. How difficult is the Premier League, and the leagues they are you can win with 85, 86, 87 points, but to get to that, to those points, even myself I could think that it was impossible. So he did it.
And you obviously work very closely with him in terms of signing players. And between yourself and Pep, you've put together a really young squad for this season. I mean, are you excited about what this group can go on and achieve now that Pep's going to stay for a bit longer?
You know, we already have an unbelievable squad. I think we have a very complete and top, based in a lot of top players. But you know, the life of the squad is always changing. You know, there are some players they're asking to leave. There are other players that they want to come. I mean, there are players that they think that they want to play more than the other one. So this is the natural life of a squad. So what is very, very good for the club and for my job, basically, is that having Pep is quite easy. It's quite easy to convince the players to come, because we have to recognize as well that Pep makes better the players, so they can see an improvement, and that is obvious, and that helps, of course, to sign the players for Man City.
And finally, then, how confident are you that with this squad and with Pep in charge, that we can win more silverware over the next 1, 2, 3 years?
We are showing the same ambition as since the first day, and we have to show that. And I don't know. I can see how the players are running and are working on the training sessions and on the games. So very happy to see that, and I think the future of this club is absolutely guaranteed with him and with the squad that we have.
That was Txiki Begiristain there, giving his reaction to the news that Pep Guardiola has signed a new Manchester City contract. Very clear from the interview that Begiristain holds Guardiola in the highest esteem, both as a person, a friend, but also as a manager. I think what I took away from that was Txiki sees Guardiola as a visionary, somebody with real tactical insight, but also somebody who works really, really hard. And I think anyone who works at City would attest to that. Pep's the first in and the last out. He's often holed up in his office doing his analysis on the opposition, on his own players, and he loves nothing more than being out on the training field as well, and loves nothing more than trying to get an understanding for the organisation at large. I've done quite a bit of work with Txiki this year because he's appeared on our live matchday show. We're not really here on a number of occasions, and he's a very, very affable, likeable person. Very positive, very interesting, and we often have conversations off camera about the future of the football club, and he is very, very, very excited about the position we're in at the moment, but also what can happen over the next 2 or 3 years. And I know for a fact that this news about Guardiola staying will only strengthen that view for Txiki. Interestingly, we did the interview in Txiki's office over at the first team building, and while we were waiting and the guys were setting up the cameras, I had a little look at his bookshelf, and the first thing that struck me was a Catalan copy of John Steinbeck's brilliant novel of Mice and Men. So I did a little bit more digging and found a collection of Charles Dickens novels also translated into Catalan. So Txiki's not only a football man, he seems to be into his literature as well, which is great to see. Anyway, that's all for this episode of the Man City podcast. Great news about Pep Guardiola. We've heard from the manager and we've heard from his longtime friend and the director of football here at City, Txiki Begiristain. They've given their reaction to the news. Before I go, I must say there's plenty more content like this across the Manchester City estate. Always check out mancity.com or download the Man City app for all the latest news and updates, training videos, training galleries, injury updates, fixture news, all that kind of stuff can be found there. And join us on a match day for our live We're Not Really Here show, where we get ex-players and pundits on to discuss the game. So if you don't like the coverage elsewhere, come here for your City-centric view of things. Anyway, until next time, thank you for listening, and don't forget to subscribe to the Man City podcast wherever it is you do your podcast listening. Thanks very much. Take care.